Nebraska. These are moving away from the area, but there's been a couple tornado warnings that has been popped up in the last hour out of these thunderstorms just south of Bennett County. So the atmosphere is churning here. It's got some energy to it, and we need to pay attention to that. Thankfully, this storm is starting to lose some steam. Went through Bennett County, dropped some hail. It is now moving out. It's moving towards Mission and Olsonville, Highway 83 in the Valentine area. Cody, Nebraska, has a pretty good hail core that is moving to the east, out that direction. So far, this line has developed very quickly, and so we're watching it as it crosses the Black Hills. Deerfield, Rochford, Silver City, Hill City needs to pay attention to this storm over the next 60 minutes. Sturgis can't rain earlier. How are we for later? Right now, you have lightning and you have rain moving through most of the central and northern Black Hills. Over the next 30 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, if you're in the central and northern Black Hills, you will likely see rain and some lightning over the next 30 to 60 minutes. Some of those storms, particularly these ones in the southern chain of storms going into western Pennington County, could have up to ping pong ball size hail. That has now crossed Highway 85. That hail core is approaching Deerfield. So anyone out in Deerfield needs to pay attention to that. Ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, lightning heading your direction in western Pennington County. And if we let's go ahead and pull up the futurecast, because then we can talk about kind of what the futurecast models say. So it shows these storms coming through, balling up. It shows Rapid City getting some action. By about 6 p.m., you could have more thunderstorms firing off in the southern hills, so we may not be done. And by the time you get to about 7, 8, 9 p.m., a lot of these storms are hit and miss. So they shouldn't be going on all night. You'll have random showers and thunderstorms kind of crisscrossing the area through about 8 p.m., and then they'll become less widespread. And the overnight hours going into the 4th of July, we'll still have some showers moving through the area. It'll be a lot more like Tuesday's weather for the 4th of July. How about it going to be? Let's see, Somerset. All right. Double check this. Looking at the latest. Yeah. So conversations with the National Weather Service right now, they've been considering a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of southwestern South Dakota, but the atmosphere is more stable to the east of the Wyoming-South Dakota border. So they're holding off for now. The storms north of Newcastle will experience a downward trend over the next hour. And so far, yeah, because we've had some rain moving through the area, which has stabilized things a little bit, but we just need to be careful. Still need to be vigilant as these storms come through. Yeah, so here's the thunderstorm threat for today. We've already had a few of these storms fire off northeastern Wyoming. Right now, this is where they're at. And so we have some favorable territory to the east and southeast of the Black Hills as you get closer to the Nebraska border. But if you're along and north of Interstate 90, I think there's heavy rain and maybe some lightning. Pea-sized hail is going to be the biggest factor for you all. Let's see. So what time do you think we should prepare in Rapid? So as far as these showers are concerned in Rapid City, if we can actually do a neat little trick here, because these storms are traveling east at about 30 miles per hour, about 35 miles per hour. So if we can take this tool here, type in 35. So that puts Rapid City at about 4:30 for this line of storms coming through. There you go. You can see all the different areas for this particular strong line of thunderstorms. Deerfield, Silver City, about 3:50. Colonial Pine Hills, 4:15. Rapid City, 4:20. Box Elder, just a few minutes after that, maybe 15 minutes after, around 4:30. We got a lot of things going on in the Black Hills. That's why we're doing a live with this, just making sure everyone's covered. We got a lot of people on motorcycles riding around the hills. If you got friends or family that are out and about on their motorcycle, give them a call, especially if they're anywhere near Lee, Deadwood, Western Pennington County. You got some hail embedded in here, especially if you're in the Deerfield, Rochford area. Looks like some hail associated with that thunderstorm moving east into the western Black Hills. So places like Rapid City, Box Elder, New Underwood, it's going to be tough to tell how strong these thunderstorms are until they actually get out to that region. What we could do is we could take a look and see what our current temperatures are. So we have some 70s and 80s. We have some heat available to us once it gets out into the county, into the South Dakota Plains. And if we look at those dew points, notice dew points, not all that high. A little bit higher as you get out towards the Badlands, Pine Ridge, Martin area. So the atmosphere has kind of been turned over a little bit by some showers earlier today. So that means it's not as fresh. It's not prime for these thunderstorms, but they may not need a whole lot. So far, that's our dew points. And the Futurecast does show those thunderstorms coming through the next 2 to 3 hours, and then we start clearing out for the evening. Here's what the Rapid City Tower Cam is showing. You can see those thunderstorms off to the northwest. We're looking northwest from Rapid City up into the northern hills. And you got some mean clouds up there. A lot of bark, but not a lot of bite with those thunderstorms up in the northern hills. So we'll keep an eye on those. Check out the hail scope. Appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone who's tuning in and keeping up to date with this. Yeah, that hail core is still going. Right now, it's just now crossing into Pennington County. The hail core is now in Pennington County, far, far western edge. It's south of Buckhorn, east of 85, northeast of Newcastle, and we can actually put a measurement. That hail core is just about 10 miles from Deerfield, so that's coming in. So if you got friends or family out in Deerfield, give them a call, send them a text, let them know hail core is confirmed to be moving in, at least at this point, 10 miles from Deerfield. It's moving east at about 35 miles per hour, so that maybe about 15-20 minutes before that moves in. If you're up in Spearfish, Belfouche, Sturgis area, right now these storms are non-severe. You can take a deep breath. A lot of these storms are not coming together in a severe way, and that's good news. I would still hang on, maybe some gusty winds pushing out towards central Meade County. If you're in Tilford, Tilford area, anywhere north of Elkvale Road, living somewhere along Highway 34 east of Sturgis, I'd at least pay attention to this storm, but right now it's below severe limits, not looking at anything overly concerning right now. Maybe some pea to nickel size hail at best. This storm, though, moving east, looks like it may miss Hill City to the north, maybe. But if you're on Highway 385 between Silver City and Hill City, that hail core is making a beeline for that region. So if the hail core is to maintain its strength, if it maintains its strength, that's where it'll hit. It'll shoot the gap between Hill City and Silver City. That is a good question. It's hard to tell at this point how strong or not strong that hail core holds together. These storms have a history of kind of falling apart as they get over the Black Hills, but that doesn't always happen. We can't rely on it. It's better to play it safe. Because it's the one time that we say, oh, it'll probably break apart. That's the one time it actually makes it. Because Murphy's Law. Yeah, some good cloud-to-ground lightning. I'm looking at our Highway 16 Rockerville Tower Cam. In fact, I'll let you guys join in on the fun with that. I'll go ahead and pull that up. There we go. All right, let's get the Highway 16 Tower Cam up here, huh? And we can visually check this out. There we go. So that's looking off towards the west. That's into that thunderstorm that's moving into far western Pennington County. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the link for that, for those tower cams. All right, tower cams. There we go. So it's in the comments section now. If you wanted to check out any of our tower cams across the area, you can do that through that link. And if you have the NC1 weather app, you have the tower cams directly on your phone, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just scroll down, tower cams, it's right there. Those go all day, all night, and the only thing that needs to be done is someone, this guy, needs to make sure that the tower cams are pointed in the right direction when these storms are showing up. Not much to see up at Warren Peak. It's just a lot of rain at this point. But this tower cam kind of has a good beat on what's happened out west, so we're going to likely be relying on this one quite a bit, as it's kind of a crow's nest. Gives us a nice overview of that thunderstorm moving into far western Pennington County. Gives us structure, visual confirmation, and you can see a little bit of a shelf cloud out there. Show you right there. That's indicative of at least a thunderstorm that's trying. It's trying. Let's get another radar check. Okay, so the severe thunderstorm warning that's in southwestern Lawrence County, I think they're going to end up expiring that one. I think that severe thunderstorm warning can be almost taken off the radar here. No pun intended. Technically, that goes into 345. May not last that. There's 60. So the severe thunderstorm warning is being continued for 60-mile-per-hour winds, but not for the hail size. Hail size is down to penny-sized hail. Still not fun to be outside in, but certainly not severe. And that storm is now moving through Lead and Deadwood. Just some heavy rain and lightning at this point. Maybe some pea-sized hail. Nothing to write home about. Most of Lawrence County, nothing to write home about. Sturgis, I think you're okay. You may get some wind and rain and maybe even some pea-sized hail and some lightning. That's about it. Tilford, Piedmont, Somerset, still a little bit of a toss-up. Just depends if this line gets its act together. It'd have to get its act together the next 10-15 minutes for it to be anything of significance. Abby, at this point, I think thunder showers for bellfish and spearfish at this point. I think we're just talking about rain, some healthy rain moving through at this point for spearfish. Anyone else, any other areas I can answer? Any questions at this point? Because we only have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we're watching at this point for storms around Ulrichs. Oh, that's yes, sure. Nolan, let's take a look at the futurecast. So, to start this off, all models are wrong. All models are wrong, but some of them are useful. So let's make sure we take that into account as we're looking at this. So you notice it shows this little front coming through. Notice that front going through Hill City, Custer. So it shows a cluster of storms trying to get going about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the southern hills. Notice it doesn't really come together all that well, but it looks as though what it's hinting at is that another band of showers and thunderstorms could blossom to the west of you in northeastern Wyoming and push its way into Fall River County sometime between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. this evening, and then it's pretty much done. Once you get to midnight, that's out. So 9 p.m., notice it doesn't show a whole lot of activity with that. Can't promise that it wouldn't be a strong thunderstorm, but right now it shows lessening activity as you get later on into the evening, and most of that's going to be due to that front. See, there's a front going through Custer at about 5 p.m. Notice as it pushes south, it fires off that storm. See that ring coming out? It's firing off those storms. So it's going to be an outflow boundary generated thunderstorm, and those are usually not long term. They usually can't hold on very long, so it's possible you can get a strong storm or two, but overall I think it's going to be relatively well behaved, especially if it's after sunset. Nolan, I hope that helps. You can see off to the southeast earlier down here towards Valentine, we had a tornado warning that went through. That was only about 25 miles from the South Dakota border. So there's activity, there's spice in the air, there's a little something going. But so far it's been manageable. Let's take a look at that hail core and see if there's been any changes. It does look like it's got just a little bit of a hook. Not much, very broad, but it's there. All right, Deerfield, so that hail core, it's about maybe 10 to 15 miles long. It's pushing east. The bigger part of the hail core is only about 2 miles across, that purple area. That's where you're going to have your larger hail. Right now, ping pong ball size hail is what's being warned with this thunderstorm. Take that away. Let's look at the velocity. I don't even know if I can really call that even broad rotation. That just may be a front coming through. Maybe a little something. There is rotation detected with some of these storms. You do have maybe a little something there, but I'm not really convinced of its threat level. It's not something that at this point is threatening. Lead at this point, just some heavy thunder showers coming through. Lightning, rain, pea-sized hail. There you go. There's a new scan. There's a new scan. All right, Deerfield. What do we got? All right, okay, that's still hanging on. Hail core just about 5. I mean, you have some hail here, but we're talking about the larger pieces, ping pong ball size hail. That's about 7 miles, 5 to 7 miles to your southeast, or excuse me, southwest. Yeah, just rain and wind, maybe some pea-sized hail, Kathy, in Sturgis. The larger part of that hail core is now about 5 to 7 miles across. So there's been some strengthening, at least according to radar, to that hail core as it's pushing to the east. These storms in Meade County, I'm not worried about them right now. They look pretty tame. Maybe some gusty winds, a lot of bark, not a lot of bite, some lightning with it. Hey, Kathy, Somerset. Again, heard thunder. Yes, there is some thunder off to your west. Highway 385 between Silver City and Hill City. Still not something I'd advise at this point. I think you should get off that highway, find a place of shelter if you're especially if you're on a motorcycle. Find a shop, grab a piece of candy, watch the show come through. Yeah, Dustin, it's a lot of good water. Let's see. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of growth towards the end of this storm. Down here, see this? I'm gonna give a soft nudge of the shoulder to Custer. Just kind of, hey, little something coming through. Deerfield, I think you're going to get this. It's going to be hard to miss at this point. And if that continues, Hill City would have that hail core as well. So overall, we're going to be likely seeing this hail core continue to push through western Pennington County, Hill City, looking at Custer, maybe, because that line seems to be extending a little bit to the south and southwest. That severe thunderstorm warning is still continuing for southwestern Lawrence County, but this is going to be more for gusty winds and penny-sized hail. Now, that's enough to ruin a few flowers. So if you want to bring your plants indoors, if you're in southeastern Lawrence County, if you're near Dumont, Nahant, Nemo, Benchmark, if you're really concerned, like if you have very sensitive plants, like any hail at all will ruin your plants, anywhere from Tilford to Black Hawk, I think it'd be safe to bring those in just in case. I don't think we're going to get large hail out of this, but just enough where it could cause a few problems. Hopefully that answers a few questions. Belfield's clear for rodeo tonight. Levi, I think as far as rain is concerned, it's going to be a rainy time, maybe some flashes of lightning over the next hour or so, but I think we'll clear out. I think we're going to clear out. If you're planning on going to the rodeo this evening, I would still plan on going, but bring some rain gear just in case. As we go further into the evening, this will continue to move east. How's the box elder? What's it looking like? Let's see. Ellsworth box elder. What's it looking like? There it is. National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hill City, Keystone, Rockerville, Spokane, Mount Rushmore, Highway 385 between Orville and just about Silver City. That's for ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Getting some storm reports right now. Looks like quarter-size hail at the very least in the western Black Hills. Quarter-size hail being reported in the western Black Hills. Wonder who's out there. 6 miles southwest of Deerfield. Quarter-size hail being reported southwest of, so that's severe status, period. Yeah, so this warning is for ping pong ball size hail. And for those that are just watching and don't have audio, I'm going to do this. So that's the warning for that between Hill City and Silver City, ping pong ball sized hail. Scott, I think that's a fair question. Perhaps they're going to get any of the hail tonight. If this continues, it's possible. Right now, from a straight east to west, I mean, this storm is almost going straight east, even a little bit southeast. And if we're matching up what we have directly to the west of Rapid City, this is the line right here. It's getting into the Rochford area right now. Penny-sized hail. I think if Rapid City gets hail out of this, at this point, here's my problem. Here's my problem. I don't trust these northwest to southeast storms. These I-90 cruisers. See this? I don't trust these. When you're going from the northwest to southeast, especially late June, early July, you can't trust these storms to stay the way they are. Sometimes they pick up any pooled moisture, so you have the Black Hills and you have a southeasterly winds, maybe you have moisture that gets pooled up and it gets kind of rounded up here because of the Black Hills. And these storms moved southeast and they collect all this pooled moisture and they can blossom very quickly. This has happened several times where it didn't look all that impressive, and then it anchors to the eastern foothills. It gets a boundary it feeds on. There's all sorts of stuff that happens along the eastern foothills there that you don't want to count out. So I'm going to go ahead and say if you're between Tilford, Piedmont, Black Hawk, Rapid City, I would expect at least some pea to nickel-sized hail, if not larger. There's nothing that indicates that right now, but these storms on days like today have a history of bamboozling meteorologists. Sometimes the models don't show it. It's just pattern recognition. You see it and you think, I don't trust it because I've seen this before. What time window are we thinking the storm will hit Rapid City area? Right now, let's go ahead and, so assuming that these storms are going at about 35 miles per hour. So this line, it's got about, Rapid City at about 420, maybe 418. Piedmont, about 4 o'clock. That's assuming the storm doesn't speed up, slow down, so on and so forth. Right now, the one storm that we have evidence is putting out hail, causing problems. Right now, it's right over Deerfield, likely starting to move out over Deerfield. So that hail core may have just, look at that, may have just missed Deerfield to the south. All right, so you see how that hail core is starting to try and propagate a little bit to the southeast. It's going, starting to dip a little bit. This is why I had Custer kind of nudged a little bit like, hey, keep an eye on this. Notice how that storm's starting to swing, kind of push a little bit to the south and kind of leaning a little bit. So we're gonna watch that and maybe trying to pull something here. Right now the models have it just pushing straight east, and east-southeast into south-central Pennington County, but we got to watch that. So Hermosa, yes, Hermosa. Keep an eye out next 60 to 90 minutes. Rapid City, I'd say the next 30 to 60 minutes is your timeline. You got plenty of time. You wanted to maybe get the car in the garage. Not that we have large hail on standby for Rapid City, but on days like today, maybe you don't want to play that game. You have time to get car in the garage. Maybe you go outside, bring the plants indoor. There's no lightning right now. Maybe there's a little shower over Rapid City, but it's really not all that much. Let's go ahead and back this up. Excuse me if I grab a little bit of coffee every now and then. Maybe a long night for areas south and east of the Black Hills, so I got to make sure I'm staying focused. Lightning detected 7.8 miles. New Center Weather app just let me know there's lightning 7.8 miles to the west of Rapid City. So lightning coming in. Wow, okay. Okay, severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued for western South Dakota. Not all of it, but parts of it. There it is. Pennington County, Custer County, Fall River County, Oglala Lakota County, Jackson, and Bennett County. Severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for your location. I think the National Weather Service saw enough and said, okay, we're just going to play it safe today. They see something ruin a little bit. They have the expertise, they have the technology, they know something's up. And so we will echo the sentiments of the National Weather Service that the ingredients are present in the atmosphere for severe thunderstorms to form until 9 p.m. this evening. So until about 9 o'clock, notice the severe thunderstorm watch does not include Lawrence County, Butte County, Meade County, Crook County, or Weston County. You are out of this zone. The atmosphere is stable. It's bringing some rain, some lightning to the area, but nothing severe. And that severe thunderstorm warning has just been canceled for Lawrence County. So that's good news. Let's see, my friend Arizona's flying in tonight. She says, tell her to buckle her seatbelt. These pilots that fly into Rapid City are like cowboys. They rough it through. They fly in all sorts of type of weather. You gotta be a decent pilot to fly into Rapid City, and they do it all the time. So they may try and make a go for it before these storms get in. May have some delays at Rapid City Regional Airport as the storm goes through. Obviously, they're not going to be not safe about it. But if there's a little turbulence, they'll go through. They'll push through. Should I worry about Box Elder, about big hail? At this point, I think big hail potential. Your big hail potential is really going to be kind of isolated at this point. I'm looking at this storm that's pushing through western Pennington County, and it does look like it does show some signs of weakening. Definitely some signs of weakening. Not totally, but some signs. So that hail core, if it continues, will move through Hill City likely. And I think quarter-sized hail is kind of the upper mark, at least from the latest scans I'm seeing at this point. Oh, I bet you got a great view of it from Custer. All right, lightning. Okay, so Rapid City, you got lightning that's about 3.5 miles to the west. Now, even though that storm is not severe, to the northwest and to the west of town, you could still get some lightning out of this. So better safe than sorry. I would head indoors. Just keep an eye on things. Storm could hit South Rapid by the hospital. That at this point, I think it's a little specific. I think right now we're talking the broader term of the Rapid City area. I think Rapid City as a whole is still on the table. Until this line comes through from the northwest, I'm really not going to feel safe saying all clear for any area to the south and east of this line. I think Meade County, for the most part, should be okay, but Pennington County, technically, in that severe thunderstorm watch, and you got to respect the polygon. Respect that watch. So I plan to drive at Surge about 6 p.m. to see my mom. P.S. The sky looks green looking west on St. Patrick. I think by 6 o'clock, you're just going to run into rain. I think by 6 p.m., a lot of this is moving off to the south and east. This is going to be into the Badlands. This could be Oglala, Lakota County, Jackson, Bennett County. So we talk about this storm to the south and east. I think by 6 p.m., you're just talking about some leftover lightning, maybe some thunder, and the severe weather threat is moving on. My son is hiking at Sylvan. Ma'am, to be safe, yes. Yes, I would. If only for the lightning. Right now, the hail does not look all that prolific, but I would find a place of shelter in case there is hail, because this line is propagating to the south. See this line here? If it trails any further south, you'll get a line that kind of moves through. That's Hermosa, Hill City, Fairburn, Custer State Park. That line could continue moving through. And just as I say, it kind of looks like it might be weakening. It picks up just a little bit of steam. All right. That hail core has really taken a nosedive. I don't think the National Weather Service feels safe taking off the ping pong ball size hail designation just yet. Probably want a few more scans because it kind of goes on a roller coaster. Strengthens a little bit, then it wanes, strengthens, and it wanes again. Northern Hills, it's just a mess. It's a blob. It's a blob of water at this point with some pea-sized hail thrown in there from time to time. Belfouche, Spearfish, Sturgis, Maurice, Cheyenne Crossing, pea-sized hail, rain, a little bit of lightning. That's what we got so far. Things are starting to clear out towards the west. Check our tower cams here. Beautiful day in Angostura. No problems. Beautiful day. I'm starting to see just a little bit of vertical development from those clouds out towards Angostura, so we'll keep that. Just keep those expectations reasonable. All right, Hill City. I think you got at least, could see some quarter-size hail moving through. The last hail scans are, I'll admit, not that impressive. Black Hills may be doing its thing, kind of chopping it up a little bit. And if we look just for the heck of it, look at the velocity scan. We'd have a little bit of velocity scan here. We're going to be looking at a little bit of rotation, but it's so broad. Really nothing of concern as of right now. Friends at Mount Rushmore. Yeah, Mount Rushmore, there's likely going to be, at the very least, some lightning coming through. You'll want to keep that in mind. The general picture, we got kind of two line of thunderstorms here. We got one front that's moving through the Black Hills, another one, kind of a line that's pushing into Nebraska. These are both pushing east. And just as a cautionary tale, we do have what appears a few more thunderstorms. They're trying to get going here and here. So even though the severe weather threat is ending, perhaps more showers on the way. I think the rodeo, is still on, but you may be looking at some rain, even some lightning at some times. Unfortunately, I know that's not helpful news. But the severe threat. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. It has been concentrated. So Rapid City, right now, this section, the southern section of the severe thunderstorm warning is now just Hill City. 6-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. So they've taken down that hail threat just a little bit. But Custer, I'm going to nudge it again because that hail core is still hanging on. Let's do this. Let's get a radar loop going here. You can see what I'm talking about. So that hail core blossomed a little bit and it's starting to wane, but it could push into northern Custer County. Certainly, if you're on Highway 385 between Custer and Hill City, you probably don't want to be out there just in case this severe thunderstorm continues to blossom again, kind of bouncing back and forth. So Rapid is in the clear tonight now for severe thunderstorm watch? Not necessarily. I'm not going to feel comfortable saying that until we have this line go through to the northwest of town. So this whole line here, once this front goes through, I'll feel better about it. This is the front. So some areas that still are in front of it: Rapid City, New Underwood, Hermosa, Custer. Some areas behind that line. If you are behind this line, anywhere behind this line, severe weather threat has been greatly diminished, and you're likely looking at some thunder showers with some pea-sized hail. Yes, me too. Yeah, the moisture will help. It's not a cure-all though. Gotta remember that. A little bit more organized. So looks like the area between Hill City and Custer is the most likely to see that hail core come through. That's going to be Sylvan Lake is also included in that severe thunderstorm warning. So any folks up at Sylvan Lake need to be on the lookout for this thunderstorm hail coming through, lightning in front of this storm. Yeah, that storm is starting to get a little bit more organized just northwest of Piedmont. Could have some peace. At the very least, you got lots of lightning with that thunderstorm. Back this up a little bit. Get kind of the bigger picture here from our Rockerville tower cam. It's kind of the crow's nest. It's up there on Highway 16, got some elevation to it. Nice little view. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I can't rule out. Yeah, that hail core is getting a little bit more organized. All right, here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. There it is. What did I tell you, Custer? What did I tell you? Custer, severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Yeah. National Weather Service probably looking at hail core like, I'm not sure. About that one. Here's the severe thunderstorm. Here's the severe thunderstorm that's approaching the Black Elk Wilderness and Custer. Yeah, that's got some strength to it. What I want you to notice, two things about this thunderstorm. See this? A little bit of a blue hue in there. That's hail. Basically, think of a washing machine. Going round and round and round. You have the air coming up, kind of keeping that afloat up there. And the longer it's up there, the larger it'll be once it falls. Shelf cloud down there. Black Elk Wilderness. Black Elk Peak Wilderness is likely going to be impacted by this thunderstorm in the next 20 minutes. Highway 16 going up to Hill City. Ought to pay attention to this. Starting to, yeah. I think this storm is strengthening. Hill City, Custer, you're on watch. This is passing the eye test. A strong thunderstorm. Lots of lightning. So meteorology it's sometimes an art here. You can't do it without the science. You have to have the science. But then it's a visual, it's pattern recognition, and it passes the eye test here. Lots of movement up inside that storm. Lots of movement. It's organizing. Lots of movement in there. Lots of stuff going on up there. Hill City, you likely have those winds coming through. Get another look at the radar here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Jesselyn, perfect. If you got storm photos, we will take those. What does it look like it'll be over Spearfish, Bellfish? So, Natalie, this storm system is a kind of, a lot of the stronger parts are towards the south. It's going to be towards the south, central and southern hills at this point. That's what we're looking at. Let's go ahead and pause this. Reorganize. That hail core has kind of cycled. The good news is it's moving south of Hill City. It's going to be between Custer and Hill City. If it does miss Custer, it's not going to be by much. Looks like it's heading towards Needles Highway, Sylvan Lake, possibly Bluebell Stables, Highway 16, Keystone, between Keystone and Custer, Highway 16 between Keystone and Custer. Not a place to be out right now. Oh yeah, that's starting to get its act together. It's basically making a beeline for Black Elk Peak at this point. Gosh, I hope no one's hiking up there right now. If you have someone who's up there, maybe you can get them service. Tell them to make their way down now. Make their way down from Black Elk Peak right now. If you send them a text, it's more likely to go through. Wind just picked up in Black Hawk. Thank you, Caitlin. Looks like that front's coming through. Trying to get the Rockerville Tower Cam up and running here. Ooh. Did we lose the Rockerville Tower Cam? There it is. There is a lot of movement with that storm. Detecting broad rotation, but non-threatening. It's getting very aggressive. There's Black Elk Peak right there. There's a little tower right there. This isn't a time lapse. This is real time, and it is. Those clouds are moving. Wind and rain in Black Hawk. Thank you, Sunny. Tyler, as of right now, there's benign rotation and nothing that indicates any tightening of that rotation, if that makes sense. There's broad rotation, but not necessarily, it's not tightened up as of yet. Daughter lives in Rapid City, west of Highway 79. Gone on vacation, haul there. Gone on vacation, haul there. Apologize, I don't understand the context. That's coming up. Oh, hail, excuse me. Hail at Rafter J right now. Thank you, Jackie. Do you have a size for that? If you do, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for the storm report. That is booking it. Lots of movement. Heavy rain on I-90, reduced speeds and standing water, hydroplane. Thank you, Mary. As of right now, we have some gusty winds, rain, and lightning heading, maybe even some pea-sized hail heading towards Rapid City. Right now, no indications of large hail at this time. There are some very gusty winds that are pushing through Meade County right now. Custer, I think the storm's just going to miss you, may miss you to the north. It might, but not by much, maybe a mile or two. So if you live north of Custer, bring in the plants. All of that. If you live anywhere south of Colonial Pine Hills, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. There appears to be a little bit of a hail core starting to form west of Colonial Pine Hills. Just in the last 2 scans. There you go. Shelf cloud moving in. There's Black Elk Peak up there. It's moving into the Black Elk Peak wilderness. Again, looking at least quarter size hail. Quarter size now at Raptor J. Thank you so much, Jackie. Yeah, for those that don't know, that's just south of Hill City. We're at Raptor J. Okay. Apologize, I'm writing up some reports. Landon, Facebook Messenger works. We also have submit your picture through the News Center One weather app and through the website as well. Thank you for that question. Kim, the Hart Ranch area ought to pay attention to this thunderstorm. Large shelf cloud about to overtake Black Elk Peak. Hail core is developing as it's pushing east. Black Elk Peak Wilderness, Sylvan Lake needs to seek shelter now. That hail core is developing. Hail size is likely getting larger at this point. Any storm reports from that area will be very, very helpful. There's the shelf cloud right there. It's about to overtake Black Elk Peak. And the Needles Highway is right there. And Sylvan Lake is somewhere kind of behind Black Elk Peak, right about there. Colonial Pine Hills, I would prepare for maybe some pea to penny-sized hail. We have some rain pushing into Meade County, some rain and lightning, but that's about it. Custer, I think you're going to miss this storm just to the north. Just to the north. Again, Highway 16 between Keystone and Custer, no good. Black Elk Peak has disappeared behind the shelf cloud. Likely overtaken at this point. I think wind, rain, and lightning. Some pea-sized hail. Likely for Rapid City at this point. No large hail detected by radar at this time. Black Elk Peak is in the storm. Hermosa, you're on deck. Fairburn, Highway 79, Hermosa Foothills. Get a little bit of vantage point here. Some low-hanging clouds out there, low-hanging clouds. And an eagle. Hot Springs, there seems to be a boundary that is forming over Edgemont, Fall River County. If you're listening, Fall River County, there is a boundary that seems to be forming over Edgemont, at least from radar scans. And I think that's going to pop up a storm before long. So Fall River County, you're dry right now, but I would hang on here as this front passes to the north. That may spark something. Thank you, Candy, for that report. Yeah, that front is coming through Rapid City now. Probably a lot of rain and wind at this point. Right now, our main focus is this southern cell pushing through. Right now, a very busy Custer State Park. Some impressive structure. Right now, the rain has just come through. I'd say I'd give it at least 30 minutes. Not heavy rain, but general rain should be sticking around maybe the next 30 minutes for places like Sturgis and Piedmont. Yeah, that is a pretty gnarly looking shelf that's coming through, crossing over Highway 16 here. The hail core again is pushing through Custer State Park, Highway 16, Needles Highway, Cathedral Spires, Sylvan Lake, Wildlife Loop Road is up next. Large amount of rain falling in Meade County, Butte County. Some very, very happy ranchers out there, I imagine. Hart Ranch Campground. Be prepared for at least maybe a pea to nickel-sized hail. Some gusty winds and some lightning. Yeah, it's pretty dark up there in Custer. It's just north of town. That if we turn our attention back to the radar just for a moment, I'll show you what it looks like. Keystone, Mount Rushmore still has severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-size hail. This one to the south, look how close that is to the city of Custer. That hail core is moving right through Sylvan Lake right now. That hail core missed Custer by about 3 miles to the northeast. Barely missing it. But we still have Bluebell Stables, Highway 16, Highway 8, Iron Mountain Road. Not a place you want to be right now. Thank you, Scott. It did. It showed up, getting some little bit of rain. Notice the radar is not all that excitable right now in Rapid City. We got some heavy rain, some lightning, maybe some pea-sized hail, but overall manageable. This hail core that's crossing through Custer County, this is the one that's maybe causing some concern. That is a large hail core. Right over Highway 837. That is right on Needles Highway. Right on there. People at the Needles Eye Tunnel and whatnot probably getting up to quarter-size hail, maybe even some larger pieces out of that. High wind in Stockade Lake. Small hail. Thank you, Leslie. Custer, Highway 16, east of town. Stay off it. Stay off that highway. Get off that highway. Wildlife Loop Road. You know someone out there, send them a text. Tell them to get somewhere, maybe the visitor center, just to hang out there till this thing passes. You do not want to be caught out in the open in this. Thank you, Landon, for that. That hail core continues to push to the south and east. National Weather Service has likely upgraded that warning. $half sized hail. Bluebell Stables, you are on deck. This is gonna, if it misses, it's not going to be by much. It looks like the hail core may miss Blue Stables, but it's not going to be by much. Right now it's about 6 miles to the north. It may get as close as, I'd say, maybe 3 miles. It's just too close. Hail core continues to push out. Fairburn, Highway 79 between Hermosa and Fairburn, you are on deck. Highway 16, Highway 36 in Custer County, you are on watch. Spokane, you are on watch. Anyone on Highway 16 in Custer County needs to find a way to ride this out. Get to a sturdy structure. All right, we had a Momentary pause there. Momentary. Just a momentary pause. Severe thunderstorm warning, half-dollar size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, Bluebell Stables, this is going to be very, very close to you. Maybe as close as within 5 miles. That hail core is going to pass within 5 miles of Bluebell Stables. Highway 16 between Custer and Hermosa is a no-go right now. No-go. Hey, Jason. Continuing to watch this severe thunderstorm in Custer County and far, far south central Pennington County, Keystone. You're not out of the woods yet, but a lot of this hail core, it right now is right over Black Elk Peak, Highway 16, Needles Highway. Winds are gusty. Yeah, things are looking okay in Rapid City right now. Thank you, Tyler. So anyone in central Custer County, Fairburn, anyone in the Hermosa foothills, anywhere south of Hermosa and south, could see up to half-dollar size hail, maybe quarter size hail. As far as right now, Hot Springs is not seeing any of this. All right, so this is Highway 16 looking southwest into this thunderstorm. You can see this is the hail foot. You can see the rain, maybe even some pea-sized hail flying across the tower cam on Highway 16 right now. This is Meteorology 101 here. You got cold air being ejected from this thunderstorm, and it's causing this shelf cloud. It's forcing warm air to rise as this cold front moves down this way. Warm air is wrapping up on top of it. That's how you're getting your shelf cloud right there, but that is moving quickly. Pea-sized hail 1 mile east of Keystone. Bad down outdoor at Rat Valley, strong winds, light rain happening. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too bad down in Rapid City. I think Rapid City, for the most part, is in the clear, but it's central Custer County right now. Sylvan Lake, Bear, Black Elk Peak is kind of what we're looking at right now. That storm is continuing to progress across the Hermosa foothills now. Highway 16, that's a live shot of that moving in. Very, very rapid motion there. So anyone on Highway 16, Fairburn, Hermosa foothills, this is moving your direction. Large hail right now, it's half-dollar size hail. That could strengthen. This storm doesn't look like it's slowing down at any point. Likely going at least 35, 40 miles per hour to the east-southeast at this point. This nearly missed Custer. It's going to miss Bluebell Stables by about 3 miles to the northeast, if that. No one should be on Highway 16 between Hermosa and Custer. If you're on Wildlife Loop Road, find a different road. See if you can get back to the Visitor Center. If you find yourself out there and you can't make it back, no speeding or anything like that. If you find yourself that the storm's going to overtake you, find a place to get in a vehicle at the very least and park. Just park on the side of the road, far off the road with the hazards on. Because if you stop in the middle of the road with your hazards on and something like this, people may not see you and run right into the back of you. You'll cause an accident. Get as far off the road as you can if you plan on stopping when this comes through. Lloyd, yes, there is. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that continues for Custer County, Fall River County, portions Jackson and Bennett County, and I would say at this point far southeastern Pennington County, Wall, Badlands are included until 9 p.m. this evening. Just kind of tipped up. There we go. Folsom area. Yes, Richard Sue, I would just keep an eye on it. Could have some hail with this. This is we're starting to lose visual as the Highway 16 Rockerville Tower cam is being overtaken by that storm off to the west. It's coming in. It's blowing in. You can see this gives a great visual of why that severe thunderstorm warning is being issued. There you go. That's what's to the west. So we got some heavy rain, maybe some pea-sized hail moving down Highway 16 towards Bear Country and Reptile Gardens. Right now, no large hail being detected as of right now. Let's go back to the radar. Raining, lots of wind, rapid south side. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Fairburn, Hermosa, Red Shirt, Folsom. That's going to be for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-size hail. This is no longer just a regular severe thunderstorm warning. National Weather Service has put a considerable severe thunderstorm designation on this, so considerable damage can and will likely be done for those in the path of this thunderstorm. Moving out into the Hermosa foothills, Fairburn, Hermosa, Highway 79, not the place to be right now. Again, Highway 16 between Hermosa and Custer. Stay off it. Get off it. Get back to Hermosa. Go back to Custer. Wait for this to come through. Wind picking up at Hart Ranch. Let's see. Billy, I'll try and speak up. Is everyone else able to hear okay? Just want to make sure. If I need to speak directly into the mic, I'll do so. This is now becoming a fairly dangerous thunderstorm. Okay. Okay. Good. Oh wow. Thank you, everyone. Billy, there may be an option to kind of keep the audio on the louder. There may be an audio option. I'm not quite sure from where you are watching. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds, ping pong ball size hail. So for those that are just tuning in, I'll do that. Man, are those guys good. You guys don't know how good the National Weather Service in Rapid City is. They are really top of the line. They called this. That's why they put the watch out. They called this as this storm was coming out the foothills that it would ingest further moisture and strengthen. And it sure has. large hail core. This is a dangerous thunderstorm. Hermosa to Fairburn. Hermosa, it is likely that this hail core will either go between Hermosa and Fairburn, or it could go straight into Fairburn at this point. You need to be seeking shelter if you are in Fairburn. Russ, I think as far as storm potential, anything west of this line and north of this thunderstorm in Custer County, likely not going to be seeing anything like we're seeing right now. A lot, maybe some wind and rain and some lightning and pea-sized hail and whatnot, but this is the show. This is going to be the show for this evening. Yeah, if you can see, so here's the hail scope. Notice as you look up towards Rapid City, nothing up in Rapid City. Hill City, this has moved beyond you. Custer, this has moved to the east of you. That is a dangerous hail core that is moving into the Hermosa foothills, Highway 79. Buffalo Gap, this is far north of you. So right now, this is the area of concern that we're looking at right here. This is your hail core, and this is going to continue to push to the east-southeast down this direction. So Fairburn and Red Shirt needs to pay attention to this. Hermosa, I think this goes to the south of you, but we can't count on that. Respect the polygon if you're in it. There's a possibility you'll see the conditions outlined in the severe thunderstorm warning, and you need to treat it that way. Loretta, not too bad. A little bit of wind and rain, but nothing to write home about. I'll bet you the Angostura tower cam is starting to get its visual on this thunderstorm as it moves just a little bit to the south towards the Hermosa foothills. We're going to see if we get that tower cam turned around here. Turned around. Oh, we are just blocked. Just blocked. That's a good storm, though. Right now, Angostura Reservoir is in the clear. We have some stuff that's trying to go up in Fall River County. We're going to watch that potential. Little coffee break there. Okay. All right, so Hermosa to your west. It's not outlined as of yet, but it looks like we do have a little bit of something trying to form here. So I'd say Hermosa proper. Anyone in Hermosa or even living just a mile outside of town, you're preparing for a potential hail core to come through. It's not there yet, but it looks like there's something potentially developing there. Strong winds blew branches all over our yard, raining southwest rapid by golf courses. Thank you, Bob and Sharon. Will this storm hit Pine Ridge? If this storm continues, let's kind of get the long range here. Central Oglala, Lakota County. I'm thinking Red Shirt, Kyle, South Dakota, possibly Scenic. Far the Badlands interior maybe needs to pay attention to this. Certainly, Oglala, Lakota, Jackson, and Bennett County are watching this thunderstorm carefully over the next 60 to 90 minutes. Parts of Custer had heavy hail. Thank you, Melody. Do you happen to know what the size of that hail? Thank you in advance. Yeah, so you have some hail. You notice it's not all that heavy, but you have some hail that's to the north, up towards just west of Hermosa. So don't want to discount it. Maybe it's not as large, but it's there. That area is likely going to get hit. Just south of Hermosa. Fairburn, you may miss this, and if you do, it'll be by a mile or two. No, Jenny. Thankfully, this storm system is south of Rapid City right now. In fact, let's look at the rest of the northern hills. Notice it's just a blob of moisture at this point. Disorganized, unrecognized, just a blob of moisture that's coming through. Helpful rain, nice rain, good rain. coming through the area, some lightning, rumbles of thunder, and gusty winds along the front. So if you're in Wall, anywhere north of Wall, you can get a gust of wind that comes through and maybe blow dries a couple cows, but that's about it. This thunderstorm is the show right now. Chris, neck yoke area, just massive rain. Good. Let's keep it that way. Covered my garden. Rapid should be safe from the hail. Beth, you're doing the good work. That's what it takes. Rapid City, yep, Rapid City is north of the action. Right now, all the action is pushing to the east-southeast of Custer State Park. And there is that is a nasty hail signature. Highway 79 is not the place to be. 70-mile-per-hour winds, ping-pong ball size hail. The wind has already likely moved through Hermosa. It's now, the wind is probably just about to hit Fairburn if it's not already there. Windy and cold near 5th and Mount Rushmore and Rapid. Yeah, that rain is a cool rain. That cold front is going to make its presence known. That probably go all the way into tomorrow, keeping those temperatures on the cooler side. All right, I got a couple different things I'm looking at here. If you have questions, please ask them. If you have storm reports, let me know where you're at and what you're seeing. We appreciate those reports because ground truth is better than anything that radar can provide. If you are actually holding in your hand quarter-size hail, that's ground truth. We'll take that and run with it. It's very, very important to get those reports. Where on Highway 79? All right, so we're going to be looking at anywhere from Hermosa all the way down to about Fairburn on Highway 79 is going to be the area of ping pong ball sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. We have a little bit of a cell north of Hermosa crossing 79, probably some nickel to dime-sized hail. Thank you so much. Perfect. Lots of wind and sideways rain in Rapid Valley, but nothing more. Good. All right, here we go. I would bring up the Highway 16 tower cam, but I don't think, or I think it's inundated. We're not going to be able to see nothing through that. All covered up. My family at Black Hills Playhouse, and I'm getting messages there, so getting hammered out there. Wilson, I hope they're all right. Pouring rain in the Hermosa foothills. A little bit of hail, only pea size, thank goodness. Good, good, good. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that report. Checking our tower cams, making sure I'm not missing nothing. It is windy out towards Box Hill. Our tower cam is bouncing around. Okay.
It's coming down hard right now.
Yeah, most of it's down towards Hermosa.
A lot of it's right in our parking lot.
Yeah.
And also for 10,
Yes.
since Barrel, where'd you get the socks?
Oh, Sam got them for me. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm live as of right now, but
are you live?
yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Good thing I didn't swear.
No, it's okay. Eric Green's. We're getting ready for the show at 5:30, so we're going to be likely talking about this.
Hand of Green.
Hand of Eric Green.
I'm going to talk about Barrel.
Oh, Hurricane
It's
Barrel.
going right toward the Gulf. So for 10.
Yes.
So okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
That is right about Highway 79. Just about to cross. It has lost some intensity. That's good news. So right now that is just, gosh, a mile southwest of Hermosa, maybe? Let's see. Yeah, about a mile. And the deepest of this hail core is about 5 miles to the southwest of Hermosa. If you're in eastern Custer County, you're paying attention to this. So you got family back, really big message getting hammered. Right. So everything else, looking north of the hills, that's just general rain. Rain, thunder showers. A lot of heavy rain in Rapid City, but nothing of it, if that makes sense. There's nothing that we're concerned about. That's going to pass through. Likely going to be okay. Yeah, Nan, that would be kind of tough coming home from Ulrichs right now. So again, ping pong ball size hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds pushing east-southeast into northeastern Custer County, Fairburn. So this thunderstorm with the larger part of the hail is likely going to be going in between Fairburn and Hermosa through eastern Custer County. Everyone else who's watching, you're in the clear as far as severe weather is concerned. What I do want to point out is severe thunderstorm watch that still continues for Pennington County, but I think they're going to take out Pennington County from the severe thunderstorm watch once this main line goes through. Fall River County, I think you're still in the game. Oglala, Lakota County, Jackson, Benton County, you are all definitely in the game. If you have any storm reports, if you have any questions, go ahead, put them through. I'll do my best to keep checking the chat to make sure that we're keeping up with those questions. If you have a storm report, let us know where you're watching from, and if there's hail, what size hail, and approximately what time you got that. That's very, very helpful for us. Really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and push the Futurecast radar here just for a second. So notice the radar is completely wrong on this Futurecast. All models are wrong, but some of them are useful. As we push this forward, it shows another cluster of storms trying to form up right around 6 p.m. in Fall River County and Custer County. So that's why that watch goes until 9 p.m. for those areas, because we could have another round that tries to fire off, especially in places with unturned soil. So if the atmosphere hasn't been turned over yet, there's still moisture and heat to be used by these storms. You could still have a few of them pop up as we go into the evening. And notice most of that activity. We could have showers and thunderstorms going through Oglala, Lakota, Jackson, and Benton County all the way till 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. But I think that severe threat will start to diminish as we get later on into the evening hours. Elena, thank you so much for that report. Some strange-looking clouds southeast of Box Elder. Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong storm system. Thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. Yeah, notice the rest of the area really not seeing a whole lot. This is an isolated thunderstorm. But if you're in the path of this isolated thunderstorm, it's packing a punch. Right now, notice you have the yellow severe thunderstorm warning off to the west here. This is the old severe thunderstorm warning, and this is just your general severe thunderstorm warning. That was for half-dollar size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. But you have a different shade of kind of red here. That's because this is a severe thunderstorm warning for considerable. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm that has the potential for considerable damage, 70-mile-per-hour winds, ping-pong ball size hail. There's considerable, and then there's destructive designation. And so if you have hail that's above tennis ball size or 80-mile-per-hour winds, either or, then you'll get the destructive designation on that severe thunderstorm warning. This is some of the new stuff National Weather Service has been putting out over the last couple of years, trying to match the National Weather Service, or match the communication of how these storms are talked about with the general public. Fairburn, you're going to miss that. You're going to miss that by 2 miles. You're missing that hail core by about 2 miles. Yeah, Nick, it got cold. This cold front is not messing around. It's be on the cooler side tonight. That hail core right now has likely, most of it has passed over Highway 79. It's going to continue its southeasterly track through ranch land through here. So if you got anyone living along and south of Highway 40, east of Hermosa, in eastern Custer County, east of Fairburn, you are in the path of this hail core. Red shirt, you are on watch. We have now been upgraded to 2-inch hail. So that is just shy of tennis ball size hail. That is larger than golf ball, smaller than tennis ball. 2-inch hail. 2-inch hail. That is moving into anywhere along in south right now. I think anywhere along in south of Highway 40. Folsom, you're in that severe thunderstorm warning. That's because these areas north of the storm may develop. But I think most of this action is going to be right there. A little bit of something forming there. Northeast of Fairburn. Watching this area right here. If you live east of Fairburn, anywhere between about 5 to 10 miles east of Fairburn, or maybe you live about 4 to 5 miles northwest of Red Shirt. Keep an eye on this. It's not a lot. That's a little something there. Severe thunderstorm continues for eastern Custer County. 70-mile-per-hour winds, 2-inch hail. Adam, no tornado report. There's no tornado. time is Dupree? So the Dupree area, not likely to see anything severe. The Dupree area is looking on the kind of rainy and windy, maybe some lightning side of things, pea-sized hail, but nothing of concern right now for anywhere north of I-90. If you live north of Interstate 90, you're likely good. This is going to be likely nothing of concern to you. Now, so there's no indications of a tornado or anything like that, just some rotation that at least bears watching over the next couple of scans. May even be just radar noise coming through. This may just be a lot of interference here, but some inbound and some tightening, a little bit of tightening. I'd like to see a little bit more of that before we call more attention to it, but right now it looks okay. Very impressive overhang and bounded weak equation. Pretty impressive storm right now going through eastern Custer County. Highway 40, anywhere north of Red Shirt along Highway 40 and going to the northwest. I think northwestern Oglala, Lakota County needs to start paying attention to this thunderstorm. Rockyford, Kyle eventually. Northern Oglala, Lakota County, you're paying attention to this thunderstorm. Scenic, I think this goes to the south of you, but not by much. Wow, look at that. So you can see there's some impressive overhang. It's not a very tall thunderstorm. It's only getting to about 30,000 feet, but it doesn't need a whole lot, obviously. Nice updraft. Again, this thunderstorm doesn't have a lot of height to it. So the updraft. All right, so this is something I noticed in the latest scans here. So the good news now, if there is any for eastern Custer County at this point, the hail core is still going, but it's even on radar, it's starting to kind of lessen a little bit. But this is very important. This happens all the time with thunderstorms in the Black Hills. See this line here? See this line? This is an outflow. This is cold air rushing in front of the thunderstorm. This updraft, this thunderstorm, is behind this outflow. This outflow is racing ahead of the thunderstorm. See that, how it's winning the race? At first it was with the outflow, now it's in front of it. That's going to do one of two things. One, either the thunderstorm keeps up with it and this becomes more of a high wind threat, and less of a hail threat, or it kills the updraft altogether, because now it's cutting off its supply of heat and moisture. All this is heat and moisture out in the plains. And it's racing ahead, and it's going to likely cut off this storm's supply. Thank you so much. It's likely going to cut off its supply of heat and moisture that it needs to keep going. The first alert weather app says 3.7-inch hail near Hermosa. How accurate is that? So as far as the radar indicated hail, that can, a lot of times it can get confused. I always go with, we have different products that we can measure the height of these updrafts. We can, right now these updrafts are hitting about 30,000 feet. It's indicated by radar to be up to 2-inch hail. So 2-inch hail, you can get all sorts of readings out of thunderstorms like this with kind of app-based hail monitors. I would say that's a little large. I would say 3.7-inch hail is on a little bit of the higher side. The storm is quickly losing steam as it pushes south and east. So we're looking good here. New Underwood and Wall area. Shirley, I think you'll get some gusty winds out of this. Maybe some lightning, pea-sized hail. Colder temperatures. I think that's about it. The only threat we're looking at right now is potentially this storm going into the scenic area, Rockyford, Red Shirt. Those are areas that we're watching carefully. Otherwise, everyone else, we could see more thunder showers, some lightning, pea-sized hail, nickel-sized hail from time to time, but most of us should be on the okay side. This is the only thunderstorm that is misbehaving at this point. Hail core is a lot less prominent, at least according to the hail scope. That indicates about golf ball size hail, which is less than the 2-inch hail designation by the National Weather Service, which is good. That means in the last couple of scans, it's probably weakened. 59 degrees on the west side of Rapid City. It got chilly fast, yes. It looks like the outflow is getting away from this thunderstorm, which is good. That's a good thing, actually. Still some good lightning. Probably still not something you want to be driving through. Anyone in Hermosa with an update? It's going to be windy tomorrow for the 4th of July. Northwesterly wind's going to be clocking maybe gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and it'll be on the chilly side. We may struggle to reach 70 degrees through the day on 4th of July. But the good news is that even though we do expect some thunder showers in the area, not a severe threat as of right now. A lot of that is to the south and east. So that's the good news. Okay, so I need to get ready for the 5:30 show. We're going to track this thunderstorm. If there's any further developments with it, we'll put out warnings on it and send that out. If you're in northern Oglala Lakota County, you are watching this thunderstorm for now. See if it maintains its strength. I will bet that things will have a tough time kind of keeping it going here as long as that outflow boundary is racing ahead of this thunderstorm. It's going to be tough for this storm to keep itself together. Thank you, everyone, for your storm reports. Thank you for trusting us with your forecast and trusting us with live severe weather coverage. We understand how important this is. And we're going to be talking more about this at the 5:30 and 6 show. And we're going to be talking about the 4th of July forecast. A lot of this right now, Folsom, you may get some hail out of this. So we're still watching it, but notice the scans are not quite as colorful, as vivid. That's good. So your storm reports have been wonderful. We appreciate them. And hopefully we see a little bit less of this as we go later on into the evening. But until then, be safe. Thank you so much for trusting News Center 1 with your forecast.